only be in here. I'll be a little bit of everywhere.
Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome back once again. Today we're going to be taking a look at the newest of the Winterblade knives from Brian Winters. That magnetic wizard is at it again. And today what we're going to be looking at is the Veyron. The Veyron is essentially an evolution of the Severn. If you haven't seen my Severn review, please go back and watch that from, I don't know, 2023, maybe it was early 2024. I have a hard time remembering when that one was coming out. Here, we're looking at a brand new debut for October of 2024. Mine happens to be in the white G10. Now, yes, you have seen this before on my channel because I had the wonderful opportunity to receive 3 knives from Brian. That was well, I'm not even going to go into all of it because I made a whole video about it. I had 3 brand new knives and I gave you a quick look at all 3 of them, and I promised that I would give you an in-depth review of each one because they are deserving of that. And today, I'm going to follow through. This is the awesome Veyron, almost as big, or maybe it's just as big as the Factor 8, is it? Oh, it's just a tiny little bit smaller than the Factor 8, but pretty darn close. Anyway, let's get into this and find out what makes it special and why you can't live without one.
When I think about my money and how much I've spent, how quickly I spent it, and where it all went, sometimes I regret it, sometimes I don't care. If my life knew the value of my collection, I'd need to be in your prayers. Some men like to gamble, some men like to race, some men like to party, to drink and fall on their face. But I've been collecting knives since the time before my space. Some are fixed blades and I have many that fold. Some go down in value, but some appreciate like gold. There's a feeling inside, a hole in my soul. If there isn't a new knife on its way to my home, order a full custom, get on a wait list. Could be a year or 3, but it's worth buying to me because of the skill of the artist. And some factory knives that you didn't know existed are rare and special, being made so limited. You think that I'm nuts and call me a hoarder or whatever, man. At least I've got something special on pre-order. Spend all your money, keep buying more. Don't think about other things the cash could be used for. Why waste it on vacations, a temporary getaway? What else do you need the money for?
All right, here she is, the Veyron. Now, as I mentioned, this is a pretty sizable knife. This is not tiny. So if maybe you're trying to decide between all 3 of the new knives that are dropping on October 23rd, you're deciding between the Veyron model, the M-Fire model, and the brand new Factor 8. Maybe you already have a Factor and you love your Factor, and you're thinking about going for the Factor 8, but think, well, maybe the Factor 8's way bigger than what I want. This falls in between the two. It's bigger than the Factor and a little bit smaller than the Factor 8. Now, you won't get that cool rear flipper with the flip tab that he has built into the Factor series, but you've got something quite a bit different, and it won't feel alien to a lot of people. And here's what I mean by that. This is not one of those purely magnet-driven knives like everything else that he makes. You've got a pretty standard folder here, but what he's done is he has revolutionized the way the crossbar lock works. Now, if you want to use it like any other crossbar lock, you certainly can. But there's also that switch right up there at the spine that allows you to unlock it for opening and for closing, however you want to do it. So yeah, this is not as wild and crazy as Brian's other knives, although it still looks wild and crazy when you really get down to it. I love his design language, man. It's like something right out of Blade Runner. It's like something right out of the future. Let's bring a little bit more light into here. There we go. Now the white G10 against the black DLC blade and the black DLC frame, yes, absolutely gives a striking contrast and a really slick look. But I want you to keep in mind as you're making your choices, if you've never owned a white G10 knife, it's going to get dirty. It's going to get dirty fast. And if you wear jeans a lot, whether they're blue jeans, black jeans, whatever they're dyed, that dye can rub off into your white G10 and start discoloring it. So please do keep that in mind. Now you've got a lot of different options for the Veyron, not just in the white G10. I kind of like the Stormtrooper look though, so I am perfectly happy with the white. I know it's going to get nasty looking in a few months, and in a few years I'll probably never want to carry it again because it's going to be that yucky, but who cares? A little bit of Mr. Clean Magic Eraser in the right spots, and I can clean it right back up. So, what are the specs on this bad boy? Let's go ahead and move that to the side. And we'll do it like we normally do. We'll put everything over here and put the specs to the right. Are you ready? Your overall length is 8 inches. She's a big, bad girl with a 3 1/4 inch blade length. The edge is just under 3 inches. Now, I know it looks significantly larger than that. I understand that. And honestly, it feels larger than that as well. If you would have put this in my hand and then told me, yeah, that's a 3 1/4 inch blade, I would have said, kiss my ass. There ain't no way that's possible. It would have been me kissing your ass, though, because you would have been right, I would have been wrong, and that's just the way that works. Your handle thickness is just under 1/2 inch from clip to show side, and that's 475 thousandths of an inch thick. If you do a G10 variant, it's only going to weigh 5.1 ounces, but if you go full titanium, folks, get ready, it's 6.1 ounces. Yeah. Girl got a big booty. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But you got to carry that around all day. So what do I like about this after owning pretty much everything Brian has made? I like the new size. It's bigger. You know, I'm used to the Factor. The Factor is what I carry the most often. I've carried my Mirage quite often as well. The Mirage is a little bit sleeker and I don't want to say more dainty, but it doesn't feel as brutish and tough. There's something about the Veyron that I really like a lot. And it might be mostly in the grip. I like how it feels in the shape of the handle. Now, I have said for years that I cannot stand crossbar locks, access locks, whatever you'd like to call them. And that was before Benchmade really made them hugely popular. Benchmade's been doing it for a long, long time with their access lock, and I've never liked it. And for me, the big part was I don't like that it becomes part of the action of the knife. Because the lock works by always being in contact with the tang of the blade. And then it falls into a notch once it's opened all the way. So this is acting as its detent as well as its lock. Now that part, it's not the worst. I mean, yeah, it's a weird amount of friction as compared to having a detent that once broken free is nearly frictionless if it's adjusted right. But what happens is they've always got access back here for some reason. I guess because there are enough lefties out there that they want to have a switch on the backside for them. So what happens is, in almost every case, That's where my index finger is sitting when I flick the blade. And my finger will slow down the movement of that lock to the point where it's pushing into the blade and not letting it do what it needs to do, or it's holding it back so that when it gets to the end, it'll drop that back down and be dangerous. Well, that's a pain in the butt. Now, I don't really experience that with this. And honestly, even if I did, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because there seems to somehow be less friction on this blade than on other traditional axis locks. I love having the option here with the new J-lock. Now, the J-lock is basically just a new iteration of his original stealth lock. How exactly it's different internally, I don't know. It seems to be a larger system now. It's smoother, I'll tell you that much. It is super smooth. And the fact that you've got the crossbar lock with the option to unlock it from the spine, I absolutely love. So you have that choice. You can always do it from back here. You can do it from up here. You can do it by pinching and hitting them both, or you can do it up here with the button. It's entirely your choice. Another big deal for this knife, and I thought it was marked up here. Oh, it's not. Oh, the M-Fire is marked there. I was looking for the blade marking. This is going to be offered in Vanax Super Clean. So if you've been looking for a knife with Vanax, or you have knives at Vanax and it's your favorite steel, you're going to be super happy with this. You're going to get a choice of stonewash or this nice, clean, they're calling it gloss black DLC. Honestly, it's more of a matte black. It has a sheen to it, but it's not shiny. The best way to put that, it's not a mirror polished DLC. But it's not highly reflective, but it has more reflectivity than it has light absorbing properties, if that makes any sense to you. So I think it's pretty damn cool. Looks really, really good against the white, in my opinion. But as always, you're going to have many different options to choose from, and I hope you find the one that you like. I'm out of here for now. I'm going to come back. I'm going to give you a full look at the M-Fire and a full look at the Factor 8 coming up very, very shortly, all before the drop day of October 23rd. So mark your calendars. Make sure you're there. October 23rd, winterbladeco.com.